Another Thursday and another presentation from Smart AI community. Um, Glad you guys are enjoying these videos and is able to ask some good question. And we previously had a conversation about AI washing, so I think it's worth revisiting that conversation because it's worth putting in the video and discussing AI washing from the perspective of um, I have my personal experience with AI washing, and industry in general, in total, is experiencing this AI washing. And of course, there's lots of dust that needs to be settled until the AI washing really comes to surface. But that's okay because this is part of the process. This is the way a digital transformation happens. Where we've been through this before. We've been through cloud space. Cloud didn't happen overnight. Cloud happened slowly. We're talking about blockchain these days because of some situations that happen with blockchain ledgers. That's very interesting. But these are all coming to fruition because this is the ledger audit that people talked about 10 years ago, and everybody said that's not possible. Here we are today, having so many debates about the ledgers on a blockchain. Billions of them, but few that doesn't match ends up causing a chaos. So just an exciting time to be alive, period, right? So one of the things that we will talk about today, let's get on this presentation here. So we will talk about future of AI as well to end this video on a positive note. But I kind of want to mix it up with what we have been talking about, which is that AI agents, how the AI agents are we'll be able to capture the value, right? The value of, if you invest in it, does it give you the ROI? But if it gives you the ROI, does it also scale and sustain and has interoperability, right? If you can use it for this, can you use it for that, right? If you can't use it for that, can you grow that capability within a silo? Can you privatize it, right? Or would it be on the edge on that sort? So if you're joining for the first time, this is because this weekly discussion happens because there's so many options with AI these days, so many AI use cases, so much data, and so many ways to approach AI. So there's literally a lot of confusion that people have to weed through this information and get there eventually. So what we would like to do is shorten that time frame, so that way when you get to AI, like you feel comfortable with AI and you want to start investing into AI, you have a foresight into what the ecosystem looks like. What does a whole forest look like? Because right now there's a tree called ChatGPT that's taken over everybody's imagination. If it's inside of ChatGPT, everything is possible. Well, ChatGPT is part of the ecosystem. It's not the full AI spectrum, right? So we'll talk more about getting lost in the tree in the coming days. But for the previous discussions, we always talked about known knowns and known unknowns and unknown unknown. And AI washing is one of these known unknown topic, right? Because you might not know what AI washing is per se, but you should be able to identify how to detect AI washing through some of these workshops that we do to identify how it's most likely is. There's some sort of AI washing that happens no matter what the product is. AI washing is not necessarily all negative. It does have some reason behind why it has to be AI washed, and wrong narrative drives a wrong story in our head, and what we come up with like fraudulent AI when we think about AI washing. Fraudulent behavior in AI space has been a concern for a very long time. One of the numbers that I used back in 2019 is that 70% of AI products in Europe doesn't have anything to do with AI. It's just they were called .ai, right? Because .ai sells the product, .ai attracts investment, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I want to continue with the theme of AI agents as well, give you some of those glimpse of the future of AI, talk about some of this new recent evolution of things, and why that is important that we keep keep our eyes on AI agents. I put it inside of Perplexity for an image. This is what came up. So I'm not talking about AI washing, right? Like this is not AI washing your stuff. But when I said that there's a spectrum of AI washing, good or bad, majority of them that you probably find examples of AI washing is to attract investment, right? Is to hype up the market, hype up the engaged users to say, if you know what I'm showing you and it has possibilities of scaling and sustaining over time, you should get behind this product because what we're showing you is not all 100%. It's as is versus to be, right? The to be state of that product is going to be something that you should be very inspired by. But as this state will probably not fit very well to a market segment that is not so familiar with AI. So they do it for attracting investment, boost appeal, and gain competitive edge. Because if you have no doubts about anything about AI, is that one thing is AI has been able to capture is the startup's imagination, right? Everything that we have done for the last 20 years as far as startup goes, we've been able to reimagine those same ideas, but with AI. There's a gain competitive edge. I put that there because that I think drives majority of this AI washing, because you don't want your competitors to do AI washing and you don't, right? And that could be a difference between billions and millions. And so who are these guys, right? What are they doing exactly? These are not small mom and pop shops, startups, or just random guy on the European market. This is literally the big corporations. And as you dive down into the AI washing news cycle, you will see it more and more. So what you have to do is really narrate the story the way you need to understand it, rather than the story that's being narrated to you by LinkedIn, by whoever else that's talking about this AI. Because there's a hype cycle in any product, but this hype is way too much because there's way too many products out there, and majority of them are not really showing what's under the hood. So let's move on from AI washing for now. Let's talk about the future of AI, right? We talked about cybersecurity at one point. We talked about digital twin. Fraud detection has been around for AI for a very long time. That's how the credit card helps you to prevent fraudulent charges. Robot assisted surgery, right? Like when I think about that, that's the one I am so fascinated by, but at the same time very scared of, right? You have to think about all the possibilities with the AI that you have. If you're going through the life cycle of taking advantage of this AI, what you see here is what the process will look like. Most likely that you have to go through over time and build confidence to engage with this deliverables, right? As in the AI deliverable that you have, there's a process to that, and this process is a lengthy one. It doesn't necessarily start one night and becomes live in next 2 days, right? There's a process to that, and this process is very, very costly. And a lot of the process that we talk about, they discuss the fact that how expensive the hardwares are, right? How expensive it is to rent those hardware. Well, there's another component to that, is the maintaining of that AI product, and having it being modified continuously, right? That is a very expensive part of having an AI. But of course, you want to look at it from the AI agent framework, because in this AI agent framework, you are able to do things much faster and cheaper, right? And if you can do these things faster and cheaper, you are enabling the people that you hired for, say, $120,000 or $300,000, however much you pay them in Silicon Valley, Dallas, Texas, wherever, the main cost remains that your human capital, right? These man hours, right? So what we are envisioning right now for this man hours is that you really have to have subject matter experts to keep an eye on your system and use AI agents to enable these monitoring and triggering in a production environment. And that's going to be the key to your success, because these AI agents are very well trained on the data that you're monitoring, right? Model training that already has happened most likely will be AI agents knowledge base. Let's just use the human terminology. It's known, right? It's a known for the AI agent. Very much, I would like to point that out that, no matter what you hear about what the cost is for the hardware, cost of maintaining these systems is going to be far more expensive than any part of your life cycle, because these are the steps that you have to go through and calculate into your cost benefit analysis. So AI agent delivers, right? So what I said about monitoring and triggering earlier, if you look at it from the 24/7 performance level, right? This goes back to that, robots can work 24 hours a day. A robot can conduct a surgery any time of the day as long as the internet is available and the patient agrees, right? So you have all these things available 24 hours a day. So if you think about an AI agent, where would you put that AI agent strategically so that way it has interoperability, scalability, and sustainability possibility? That's a lot of abilities there. But you really want to focus on your investment for AI agents today. And once you invest in it, how do you create a knowledge base for this AI agent? So that way, as you multiply your AI agents, these knowledge bases are, again, scalable, right? There's interoperability to it. So a lot of the cases we'll see that, we will have a 24/7 AI agent that's on a call center picking up phone calls. You kind of have to take a deep breath and say, like, okay, maybe that's not where we stop, right? But then again, there's urgency by the group or the individuals that wants to push forward with a problem solving. There's no stopping that, right? But at the same time, if you have the bandwidth, sit down and relax. Think about AI agent from the perspective of internal business operation rather than your demand signal deliverable or looking for those demand signals, right? If you can have it inside of your business process and look at it from your OpEx perspective, it drives the AI agent scalability far from where it is today, and it will be trained and mature by the time it needs to be scaled over time. So a quick reminder to anybody that's watching that artificial intelligence and machine learning, these are not something new. They're based on the systems that we've been investing a lot of our time and money into to develop business intelligence. And part of the business intelligence is data analytics and data intelligence. Off top of that is where we are creating machine learning. So if you have any questions about these topics, feel free to reach out. But the future of AI is literally what we talked about last time with Jensen Huang's presentation. When the AI is coding for you, those sort of narrative of AI agent learning and doing things better and faster 24 hours a day is because of this AI coding capabilities. And these AI coding capabilities will come to the market because what you're seeing right now is literally the surface level, because what's being trained in the labs are going to be far more effective than ones that we're experiencing with right now. And it kind of, we think of it as like, hey, it's not the greatest. But like I said, depends on where you start. If you're able to scale it, think of it as maturing that AI over time. If you are able to mature an AI over time, it can do things that no other system can replicate. So I used this as an example last time, that if you have digital twin for your training purposes. So if you are training your AI system for some sort of, this is robotic movements. Don't get stuck in this robotic movements. Think of any scenario, right? Any scenario. Like say, for example, Kroger's line, how many lines do they have to have open in order to serve the customer the fastest way so they can check out, right? You can do digital twin for that, right? If you take one register off, how fast does everything else moves? How many things in a shopping cart that we have to process per second? Digital twin can simulate these things, right? And digital twin is one of those capabilities that you have to keep your eyes on because AI agent will feed into that. So having said all of that, if you're interested, always do check out our weekly videos because we talk about a lot of these capabilities that are coming down the pipeline. And of course, there's a complexity behind it. But as as complexity is simplified, you get a little bit more curious, and more curious you are, better off you are, because to be fearful is to create a distance, and that's not a good way to approach AI. Thank you also very much, and put your questions in the chat, and then we'll catch up next time. Ciao.